It's a quiet, moonlit night, and you're standing on a beautiful white sandy beach. The sand, still warm under your feet from the sun's rays of the day. A gentle breeze is blowing through the palm trees, and it soft caresses your face and body. The moon is full, and the shimmering pale white moonlight showers you with its powerful moon energy as mean dance upon your ebony waters surrounding you. As you walk along the beach with the waves gently kissing your feet and the ocean singing to you, you look to the heavens and you see the most wondrous brilliant star. As you gaze upon this twinkling star, you see it fall suddenly into the water, and in a flash of light, a beautiful, perfect dolphin emerges from that very spot. And in an instant, your heart and mind know that this magical being came to you from the heavens above. The dolphin calls to you in language not of words, but of the heart. It is an easy, joyous communication, welcoming you to approach and enter the water. Excitedly you do so, finding the water warm and soothing. As you greet one another, and you look into the dolphin's eyes, you see the universe itself reflected there. You feel at peace and loved. It is a union and a reunion. You remember, and you're connected. Such joy and love you have for a new friend and guide. You take hold of the dolphin's fin, and she gently swims with you. You feel totally safe and protected as you both now go beneath the surface of the water, deeper and deeper and deeper. How beautiful this underwater world is. You could stay here forever, surrounded by colored fish, coral, sea, and plant life of every description. And in the distance, you see a crystal cave just for you. You and your guide effortlessly glide toward this cave, so inviting. And as you enter the cave, you find it has many, many rooms of many colors. Red, orange, purple, green, blue, yellow. Each is healing, and you choose the color you need. Or you may choose to visit each room like a sponge, absorbing the vibration, the energy of all the beautiful colors. You may stay here as long as you wish. And when you're ready to leave, you see that your dolphin friend has been patiently waiting for you, and she now accompanies you to the surface. You float silently upward and upward and upward, and emerge from the water healed and whole. You bid farewell to each other, thanking this magnificent celestial being for her love and energy and for this healing journey. And in your heart, you know that she will always, always be with you. Welcome, Metaphysics at Heaven. It's time to kind of open up our hearts, right? As the saying goes, to being multidimensional beings, right? You know, we're in such a situation, you know, in the world around us and what we see that's close to us, of course, because, you know, the whole ball game is on our phones. The whole ball game is on the computer. We see everything that's going on. That's what's amazing about this, the internet. And in that, no more veiled, no more hiding behind anything. Everything is out in the public, in the mind eye of our individuals. And we sense that, first of all, that what we want to take care of more than anything are our grandmothers and our babies. There is no reason ever to have a grandma fret or a baby cry other than wanting to be changed or hungry or needed to burp. Do you see what I'm saying? This is so important for us as human beings to see ourselves in that role and that role only. It's such an important thing. My parents were divorced early on from, I was in about maybe starting to split up, maybe kindergarten, first grade, about there. And this was, of course, you know, maybe being 6 or 7 years old, okay? So this was like in maybe 53, all right? So in this realm, I lived with my mother in Florida for the school year, and I lived with my dad up in Quincy, Illinois, in the summertime. and I had my father remarried a woman whose husband was a Pan Am pilot who died flying from Rio de Janeiro to Miami, and the plane was lost over the Amazon. It took him a month to get to the plane. And in that, she had 4 daughters. So I have one blood sister, Moya, and then so there's 5 sisters in the summertime, and me being the only guy right in the middle. It was, of course, quite the experience having that and being raised into that realm. Well, coming to Guam, my dad was kind of disappointed. He wanted me to come in and, of course, take over his insurance business. And, of course, my grandmother wouldn't talk to me. I was so far away. You know, they wanted me to teach sailing in Disney World in Orlando, but here I was out in, the Marianas. And they both came out, and they saw how I was living, and they agreed, no doubt, that they pretty much set me up for this type of life, being on this beautiful island with all these unbelievable people where humans teach humans how to be human. Anyway, so my dad was dying. He had litigo. He was a young man, just turned 58, and he came out here. And he pretty much said, you want to go back, take the insurance business. You want, these are the offers to father to son. And first of all, I said, Dad, you're not going to die. I'm not going to do and think that way or anything like that. Let's go to acupuncture. Let's go do Joe Ray. Let's go do these things. But he was, who he was, of course. But at the time, he had divorced his second wife, and was with the love of his life, a woman named Maribel. So my dad's name is John. So here's Dad, when he leaves here, he knows he's only got a few months to live. He lived until April. He came here in 73, October. He died in 74 in April. So he knew he was going to die. So he called up my mom, okay? So this was, years after years of being divorced, she being the biological mother, him being the biological father, and him passing. He asked my mom, Thea, do you think I should give my estate to Moya and Rand, or do you think I should marry Maribel and give her the majority of my estate? And most, I think, I don't know if it was, but I would think most mothers of the children would say, yes, John, give the estate to Rand and Moya, our biological children. And I'm sure, the woman who you're with now will be fine. But no, she didn't say that. What she said, John, you have a chance to make a woman happy? Wow, what a lesson that is. And they got married, and everything's fine and dandy. But in that lesson, for me, and understanding that that's what occurred, that I was now in a realm where I knew that's what I had to do. I had in my life to make sure I make a woman happy. And in that realm, in that message from my mother, in the aspect of not being selfish for her children or not being anything, but in the thought of the joy that John would give himself by making a woman happy. What a gift. What a gift she gave him. And to me, that is what we have to do. We have to be in a situation where we're making a woman happy as a man. We're making grandma comfortable. We're taking care of the baby. We're the Adahi in this realm. The Adahi being the protector, being the individual who stands up for whatever is going on around within our third dimensional realm. That's the Adahi, to make a woman happy. And then in that aspect, to engulf into this multidimensional reality that we live in. This multidimensional, you have so many different personalities. The personality you have with your coworkers, the personality that you have with your boss, the personality that you have with your loan officer, all of these people, your significant other, we all have these different personalities. And having these different personalities, we can arise to the realm of making each one of them very, very proficient, very, very qualified to do the job that they have to do as a mother, as a child to an aging parent, to being in our profession and having this aspect of doing as much good that we possibly can with what it is that we have in our toolkit, so to speak. So, and you think about this, about what do we do and how do we live our lives? And how do we look at people in the eye and offer anything less than an "I love you"? It's quite a bound when you do realize that point where everybody really is you, and everybody really is, hanging on this beautiful blue planet and having a substance to be able to live as a species, and to be able to take care of that and make it so nobody's in a zoo, so to speak. Everybody is able to free roam, and everybody's able to do and be part of what is supposed to happen, and as an asset to whatever community they're involved in. That only can come from within a person. And that can only come from within someone who thinks, okay, I'm going to help as many people as possible with the resources that I have. And in that, it's going to be authentic, because I'm not just talking about it, I'm going to do it. That is the authenticity, the product that emerges from whatever effort that you put. So what we're saying into this realm is, don't think about changing anything within the third dimension. Don't think about changing that, because that in itself is pretty solidified, as to what we've seen through the years. The only thing you're going to see is your mind, your imagination, your sense, or your develop and protect an essence of you that operates out of the fifth dimension. And that is who you have. That we always talk about higher consciousness, that part of you who has that innermost, your heart of hearts, as Steve Ujoa would refer to it. All of this in the little conscious mind, the Jiminy Cricket, so to speak, of Pinocchio's story, to have that ability to communicate what's right or what's wrong in whatever sense that you think of whatever's right or whatever's wrong in living your life. And pretty much as you adhere yourself to being someone who is protecting the environment, who is working on sustainability, who's being able to create food, and who's be able to make it so their life that they're living is something that they can share their happiness. You never get into the word of pride. You don't say pride. I'm proud to do this. I'm proud of my kids. Or I'm proud to be a gecko. I'm proud to be Chamel. It's happy. I'm happy for my kids. I'm happy to be a gecko. I'm happy to live on this beautiful Guam, because pride is, of course, one of the sins, that we sense. Interestingly enough, in this innocence of how we deal with that word. But where we see ourselves, when we look at who you are in this world that we live in, third dimension, remember the ego has to be suppressed. Father Goffigan, quote unquote, yeah, you got to get rid of the ego. That's one of the most important things to have a sense of, because the ego is the only thing that's going to stop you from being in higher consciousness. That in itself. Now, how do we deal with the ego? The easiest way is to realize that in 4 or 5 generations, nobody's going to know who you are, anything about you, or anything you've ever done. So whatever it is that you're hanging on to within the ego, even if you think about, okay, well, maybe I should go and make a name for myself or do this or do that, they may know your name, but they don't know you. They don't know anything about in that realm, and that's what you want to be able to realize, that the ego is dissolved pretty much, because can you tell me the name of the mother of your great-grandmother on your mother's side of the family? The mother of your great-grandmother? And if you can, what's her mother's name? And then maybe there you're going to go, whoa, okay, I got you. I don't know past that. So when you get to that point, when you really realize that your ego's gone, you're operating in a higher consciousness with a new name. The name is so important. The church does it. Confirmation names, they're beautiful. It's there, but it's just not practiced. And the practice soon, I'm sure, would be in Mass. Peace be with you. Hi, my confirmation name is John. What's yours? St. Anne. Okay, well, let's be spirits in our Father's house. And then if you can take it within the family and continue to use it through the day, at least on Sunday, then that's who you are in that higher space. And then, of course, at a wake or a rosary, you don't think about the individual's birth name or on the birth certificate. Who you think about is what's their confirmation name. That's who you pray to, because that's who they are. That's who they've become in the higher conscious and the sense of passing. So when you think about what it is that we can do and how we can help, and you think about, well, what can I do? I don't have transportation, okay, or what can I do? I'm working 2 jobs. And when I get home, I'm completely wiped out into this aspect. Well, what you can do is you can energize the present moment. You can energize the present moment from your thoughts. It's something that gives a balance to the planet when the species on the planet are living in the now. They're not thinking about what's going to happen in the future, and they're not thinking about what happened in the past. They're just thinking about right now. And the easiest way to do that is through your breathing. When you breathe in, you say whichever name means love in your ethnic language, however you say love in your ethnic language, and then when you exhale, you say that name of whatever represents love in your ethnic language. And then so you're concentrating now. You're paying attention to saying that to yourself as you have an inhale, and then when you exhale, same thing. So you say it twice, inhaling and then exhaling. You say it over and over every time. You see how long you can go doing that. And then what occurs, that you now are just paying attention to your breathing, nothing else, because you're saying the word Guaidza, 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 with your inhale and your exhale. And there's the rhythm to that. And that puts you into the oneness, that where you are right now, present moment, and then all the energy of the future, all the energy of the past is all within you all right now. That's what you can do. That is easy enough. That's the free ball game. Doesn't cost anything, and wherever you feel comfortable to be able to do that, and you're re-energizing the species. You're re-energizing the species by bringing the species, which is your avatar, into the now, and from there, in that realm, what do we do that? What's the intent of being in the now? You have an intent, and the intent is, if you think about and you're breathing and you're paying attention to it, if you're going to do affirmations. If you're going to do an affirmation of thank you, Mother Nature, for our opportunity, for our unconditional love. Thank you, Mother Nature, for our opportunity, for our unconditional love. And then in doing something like that and making your affirmation, when you're in the now, then you're fully projecting the moment, because you're not thinking about anything that's going to happen. You're not thinking anything that's in the past. You're thanking something that you want and that you have now, because you're thanking Mother Nature for our opportunity, for our unconditional love. It's right now. You got it. It's with you. Thank you, Lord, for our opportunity, for our excellent health. For our excellent health. Everybody's excellent health. All the species, the whole ballgame. Thank you, Lord, for our opportunity, for our abundance of surplus money after expenses. For everybody to have that ability to find themselves well-being, and in a sense where they have a livelihood, a job that can take care, or they can make money to make themselves comfortable in the third dimensional realm. Thank you, Lord, for our ability to be in a state of grace, for our state of grace. Wow, state of grace. How do you get into a state of grace? You get in a state of grace by having gratitude. Gratitude takes you every time into a state of grace. Thank you. Thank you. That's why every affirmation starts with thank you. Thank you, Lord, for our opportunity, for our love of awareness. Thank you, Lord, for our opportunity, for our love of awareness. Love of awareness. Wow, that's a big one. That opens up a lot. That opens up 90% of the rest of your brain there, getting that love of awareness, being completely aware of everything around you and that sense, because here you're continually doing your breathing, you're continually doing your affirmations in this state of the now. That's what gives you that ability to, whatever it is, you have that thought of one of the one that fascinates me is thank you, Lord, for our opportunity, for our nothingness. Whoa, nothingness. That's a space in itself, I'll tell you that. Where there's nothing there, it's just nothingness. That's one of the interesting spaces to put yourself in with an affirmation. Nothingness. It's not much in that realm, and the nothingness of it all. But then all of a sudden, there it is. That's what everything is this nothingness. And when we sense that you've evolved, or you're in a space now in a different frequency. And within a different frequency, your avatar has shifted, your body, with that frequency and that thought. But the essence in itself, taking care of yourself, being an individual who is doing everything possible to help as many people as possible with everything that you have and your abilities, and with that, you continually do that, and that is what gives you, they say very clearly, the highway to have enlightenment. It's helping people. That's the name of the game. Once you have that sense, once you've had interesting enough any kind of death experience, or you out of body experience, you all of a sudden you find yourself, well, I'm going to go help a lot of people. This is just something I want to make sure we do, because that and yourself and your authenticness, that you have a product now in the sense of how you're helping people, gives a substance to whatever energy is spinning around your atoms, your molecules, and what this vehicle is created out of. It's unbelievable. I mean, once you start getting into these realms and start thinking about these multidimensional thoughts, where you live forever, you have all the knowledge of the universe, you live in truth. There's no gender. Now that's interesting. There's no gender. Okay, so you think about what in that essence, in your dreams, or even in that space, in an astral body, having that thought of the closeness and the intimacy, but without what you talk and what we talk about in our gender world, so to speak. And if you think about what is the ascension, how does this ascension work? That we're ascending. Are individuals, if two women are in love with each other, is it not anything less than two essences being attracted to each other in a sense of a multi-dimensional realm, fifth-dimensional essence that brings them bliss and happiness? And it's not anything that's in the third-dimensional realm, because that, in its ascension, that comfortability of being together, these are just things. These are just thoughts, that you in contemplating about, in evolving away from whatever gender you are, in the physical sense, or the what we call the model, the role model. And the only reason the role model is there, the only reason in that aspect is, of course, procreation for the species, having children, and then, of course, raising these children to have children, and that in that realm. But in the aspect of going into an ascension and being a space where it's not the intimacy of anything less than two individuals who are in love with each other in a higher consciousness. the avatar is not the important part of the relationship. It's an interesting thing. It's interesting. You think about people who go through changes, sex changes, or what they have, and what goes through in a metaphysical sense they're experiencing. That they're in a man, there's a woman living inside every man. There's a man living inside every woman. This is just who we are as this duality in our lives. And when you have that revelation in itself, and then you feel that in your comfortability or where you are, that you can do something with this new person that you're going to create by changing this thought. It's not so much anything less than just becoming your total essence that you are, both male and female, whichever role in the avatar that you pick. But that is where you are in that essence. And it's interesting because we don't have anything in the freedom of self to stop us from thinking that way or feeling comfortable that way. And then, of course, you have your boundaries on the avatar level, boundaries of what it is. If you're going to have sports, have people who have gender changes compete against each other. Have the team, have the team that's comprised of just people who are going through sex changes, and have them competing against each other. And hallelujah for that. And the people who are not so much into changing that and having within their own sports groups. So you never have a situation where somebody can't play the game, so to speak, because now everything's fair as to how we see ourselves with our avatars. So what I guess the lesson for tonight really in this thought and kind of what we're talking about and how to do these affirmations and find these different senses of ourselves is to really go to a space and in going to this space have that ability to love. And in that love that you express, having that ability to express the love that's within you, because the whole mantra is that guaidza, love, 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 whatever in your ethnic language, how to say love. That's your conduit. That's the blessing. That is the mantra, the word that's going to take you from the third dimension to the fifth dimension every time. Same thing in your Catholicism. It'll take you straight to your confirmation name. God's love. That's the ball game. It really is. I mean, it's so beautiful to have that full revelation of what love is. And you look around and you see, I'm trying to, when we were in Rhoda, and we were at the bird sanctuary. And we're watching the birds come back from being out in the ocean. And when they came back, they paired. You could see there was a bird. It's on the canopy. They're all these birds are all nesting on the canopy. So a bird will come in and land, and then maybe up to a half an hour later, 20 minutes later, another bird will come in and land next to it. It's what we know about what creating the species, procreation, that in itself, and seeing the collectiveness even within, the beautiful birds at the bird sanctuary in Rhoda. I mean, wow, that's one of the most blessed places on the planet. Watching those birds come in from the ocean, and whether or not it's at sunset or whether or not it's at daybreak, watching them go out, and all the noise, that's being made, and so when you're in a sacred place like that, then you see what is it, and what it is. It's being close to another person. It's being and sharing your happiness with that person, and it's like what my mother taught me. John, you have a chance to make a woman happy. Wow. What kind of a sacrifice is that for? Mom goes, are you kidding? Sacrifice? You better sacrifice. Your mom is talking. right? You know, don't think anything less than that, young man, right? I mean, that's mom, right? You know, mom. You know, it's the beauty of the physical act of patting on the back. When you hug someone, we've talked about this so much. You pat on the back. When you're patting on the back, what are you doing? You're giving that other person your mom's heartbeat. For 9 months, you're in next to her heart in her womb. And that gets pretty much 100 times a minute, going on. So you hug, and then all of a sudden you're patting the other person on the back. There you go. That's mom's heartbeat. Introduce your moms to each other. You know, that's part of the ritual also. But what we're really talking about in this metaphysical embrace is try it out. Just try it out. That's when I first learned about Joe Ray. Church of World Messianity. It's on the back road to Anderson. I was introduced the Okada family, Danny Okada, David Okada's parents, and Satsudi, the architect, his engineer, his parents, the group of Japanese individuals, and other individuals, of course. This was Shinto, Buddhist, and Christian. It's all on the back road to Anderson. It's still there. The building's still there, and there's a what would you call it? Not a temple, a shrine. Like it's a thing to all of the world people whoever died during World War II. It's dedicated to all the people who ever died during World War II. And so in this Church of World Messianity, the prayer's called Joe Ray. And what you do, like let's say somebody goes, oh, I got a really bad headache. And the way I would say to them, to make them comfortable, I say, hey, can I do some magic? And they kind of laughed, do magic. Okay, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to do about maybe 5. I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to put it above your forehead for about 5 minutes. And then maybe I'll do the back of your head for about 10 minutes. And that's it. Okay? And then okay. So then you start. It's funny, the first time I did this with one of the DJs a long time ago, and he goes, okay, that's good. Okay, so I stopped. He said, okay, so it wasn't very long, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. And then later on, he goes, hey, can you do some more of that Joe Rageous? Call it Joe Rageous instead of Joe Ray. Yeah, we can do some more Joe Rageous. So, I did it, finish it, and his headache went away. And the thing about it is, the beauty of this prayer is that anybody can do it. Church of World Messianity. You're a Messiah, you can just do it. But the act is, of course, doing it. Are you going to do it? Are you going to step up to the plate? And the guy who had the revelation, this guy named Meshisama, he's the one that had the revelation of the prayer. So in going God, Meshisama, and then the person's name. And when you're doing the Joe Ray, about 5 minutes in the front of the body, and then you do the back of the body for about 10 minutes, whether or not it's a backache, stomach ache, whatever. And one of the interesting things, what happens is you kind of heat up. If you took a camera that could take a shot of your palm, you would see a flame come out when you're doing this Joe Ray. It's you kind of get heated up. So interesting enough, after you get Joe Rayed, you might have to want to use the bathroom, but this is a prayer, but anybody can do it. See, that's the thing about it. Anybody can do it. You just got to do it. That's the key. All of these different things in affirmations and breathing exercises or the yoga, any kind of meditative senses that you do. But that's the key to what it is just having the activity, just doing it. To give you, and you get reinforced. You say, okay, this seems to work. I'll do it again, right? Or I feel better about this or that, and where I am in my mind and how I'm thinking. Okay, so I'll keep it. I'll keep doing it. One of the ones that I like to do, in Guam we have so much time standing in line, is introduce people to that simple breathing exercise. When you exhale, you just let yourself fall. If you want to just think about like an airplane, you're falling out of an airplane, okay? But, of course you're not falling out of an airplane, you're just having this experience. So you take a deep breath in, and then when you exhale, you just let yourself fall. And you breathe in. Then you just let yourself fall as you exhale. And you breathe in. Then you just let yourself fall. And you're not hot. And you're not cold. You don't have any minor pains. And there's no stress. And you're not tense. Wow. Lucky you. How easy. It's just when you exhale, you just let yourself fall. So anytime you feel a tenseness, anytime you feel any stress, anytime you feel any minor pains, you just take a breath, exhale, and just fall. Hot or cold. You do this with kids who come out of the ocean when they're shivering. Do this exercise. Goes away at the moment. People who are fanning themselves, that's my favorite. People who are fanning themselves, that makes you hotter, by the way, when you fan yourself. You do this exercise, and all of a sudden they go, oh, wow, yeah, there is a breeze. You know? Too busy fanning themselves. But this, in ourselves, in our ability, these are all things that when you spend time in your higher consciousness, when you say your mantra, and you go, whatever name you use, the name is so important. The name and the mantra of the word for love. Those are the two probably most important things. Because like we were doing earlier with Charles and Doc, you know, for the aspect of Tomas being our doctor and of course Christopher being Charles, me being John, and then third dimensional, if we wanted to kind of train ourselves up, okay, John speaking, well, Rand is, you know, after the show is probably going to, you know, drive down to Epan and, you know, get ready for a gathering we're having this weekend. So, yeah, that's what Rand's going to be doing. And this is John talking about what the avatar is going to be doing. That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting mental activity that you can have if you have a confirmation name, and then in that confirmation name you see yourself in a fifth dimensional space, and with that confirmation name, your avatar, whichever the name is of your body, your birth certificate, then you relate to that individual, and when you're speaking to someone else who's using their confirmation name, saying that yes, so and so, you say your name, Carol. Let's say, you know, Carol just went to Donkey Village and got a really good deal on some real fresh fruit. And so in that realm, what, you know, aspect of communicating using your confirmation name, addressing your whatever happened with your avatar, your body, about what happened with that body. Almost making the body something that you know is again taken care of. You know, and you demand the higher consciousness, whatever name that is, it demands the body to be nourished with good food, you know, to get enough sleep. You're talking at least 7 hours or more a night. And then, of course, exercising, you know, to make sure that all the experiences, you know, as many experiences as possible, because what fuels the ascension of your confirmation name, which fuels the ascension of whatever name you name your higher consciousness, is your experiences, good or bad. You got to have as many experiences as possible. That's why you go all the way up to your last breath. That's why you don't commit suicide. You got to go to the last breath. You got to pay for your bliss in this third dimensional realm. And that avatar, that body's experiences for as long and as many as possible is what's going to make you and your higher consciousness ascend as high as possible. That's the connection. That's the beauty of it. And that's where the true essence of who you really are is that part of you that you've named yourself, as opposed to a name that your parents gave you. A couple of minutes, I think, is what we're going to be jumping into the CBS News. It's kind of interesting, you know, you listen to this news and yeah, and you know, it's always been that way. It's always who we are and what we like to listen to, or what page we turn to in the newspaper or wherever we see things, and who our heroes are and who they, and of course who they aren't. But in higher consciousness, when you get into that realm, remember there's no judgment. You don't make any judgment, and we're all equal. So this is a tough one sometimes, because you hear these horrendous things that go on and that happen. But once you are actually that sense of who you really are in that space, you don't have any judgments, and we're all equal. So work on that for a while, and then I guess we'll be back with CBS News.
KGUM FM, Dedido. The talk of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Michael Toscano. There appears to be a break in the hunt for Travis Decker, the Washington state man wanted for the murder of his 3 young daughters last spring. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office says drones and cadaver dogs helped find human remains believed to be Decker's in a remote wooded area near the town of Leavenworth. KIRO-TV Samantha Lomibo is there.
The sheriff says there's still DNA testing to be done to confirm this is Travis Decker. But here's what they did find. Deputies say they discovered clothing similar to what Decker was wearing when he was last seen, along with personal items believed to be his in a very decomposed body.
Personnel from a range of state and federal agencies had searched hundreds of square miles, much of it mountainous and remote, since June 2nd. Flying home from Britain, President Trump said he's not worried about filling the airtime vacated by the suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live late-night show.
Anybody could replace him. Guy had no talent. Kimmel he was fired. He had no talent. He's a whack job.
Jon Stewart hosted last night's episode of The Daily Show. He and the show's correspondents mocked the Trump administration's actions regarding free speech.
Americans are free to express any opinion we want. To suggest otherwise is laughable. Ha, ha, ha.
Former Vice President Mike Pence weighed in on the controversy, speaking before a forum at the Atlantic Festival.
The First Amendment, though, does not protect entertainers who say crass or thoughtless things, as Jimmy Kimmel did in the wake of a national tragedy. I would have preferred that the chairman of the FCC had not weighed in.
CDC's newly reorganized advisory committee on immunization has recommended children under 4 no longer get the combined MMRV vaccine. But Dr. Deborah Birx, who was President Trump's coronavirus coordinator during the pandemic, sees it differently.
I wouldn't want any child to get measles, mumps, or rubella, or varicella. I mean, chickenpox. I was the generation that lived through all of that. We saw the consequences of that. And so I think if you talk to people my age, we're all very supportive of childhood vaccinations.
A male middle school student in Rockland County, New York, has been arrested for allegedly posing as a female and soliciting sexually explicit photos from fellow students and then extorting them for videos or gift cards. Parents are shocked.
I feel really surprised, and I feel really shocked too, and scared, because I feel like nobody should have to go through any concerns like this.
Police say there may be hundreds of victims. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-497-0593. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-497-0593. That's 800-497-0593. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
A homeowner in Puerto Rico is suing a homegrown rap star.
As he gets set to wrap up his residency, A homeowner in Puerto Rico is suing Bad Bunny. 84-year-old Roman Carrasco Delgado says he's sick of fans gawking outside his home along the coast in Humacao. The salmon-colored home with yellow trim and a wraparound porch is featured in the rapper's film short that launched his new album. It's become a symbol of the rapper's residency. Carrasco says those fans come by the dozens to take pictures and post selfies, robbing him of his privacy. He's suing for $1 million in damages and emotional distress. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Three-time Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw is retiring at the end of the season after 18 years with the L.A. Dodgers. The 37-year-old left-hander will make his final regular season start at Dodger Stadium tonight against the San Francisco Giants. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
The views and opinions expressed in this show